Did they just say they're gonna throughout the 4 hours?
What's their future look like down there, Dallas?
They got to at least.
Oh, we're starting with the top.
They could have kept Alabama up there. We already knew they were going to be there.
So Alabama's number 1, which is everyone knew that.
Yeah, that's easy.
Time starting offensive lineman. Number 3.
Clemson.
Ohio State.
And the big number that you see, 11.
Oh, y'all are ahead of me.
Ohio State 3.
Be cool. Shut up.
I guess I'm ahead of both of you then.
Yeah, those are all different times.
Controversy, there's going to be some hype and build-up of obvious that aspect of it. But remember, because Ohio State was in the top 4 last week, you talked about they could win on.
I'm muting y'all.
Are they considering Cincinnati over Oklahoma? Is that what I seen?
What?
Are they considering Cincinnati over Oklahoma?
They might.
That's crazy.
Undefeated champion, so.
Yeah, that is a good
Why
point.
the fuck did you just stop at 3?
I don't know. That shit's stupid. Cena, you're muted.
Yeah, I muted everybody.
You got to unmute yourself.
Yeah, to build drama. That's why.
But yeah, I mean, Clemson. I think Clemson's gonna whoop Ohio State.
Yeah, I honestly, I think Ohio State is the 3rd best team, and that's where they deserve to be. I think whoever's the 4th team is the weakest one, but that 3rd team is Ohio State. I think they're the worst of Alabama and Clemson. So
I feel sorry for whoever sneaks in number 4.
Here we go.
Well, LSU's the only number 1 ranked team to win a championship. So
yeah, here we go. Wow.
Notre Dame, I heard it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got it right.
Fucking it.
Well, they're about to be gone.
I guess based on that decision, they kind of figured Bama would stomp them, and they wouldn't have a rematch between Notre Dame and Clemson for the 3rd time.
I mean, it's just stupid. Like you know that they can't compete. They just got their ass whooped.
It took them 4 quarters almost to score a touchdown.
It would honestly be a much better game. I would like Oklahoma to be in there over A&M, honestly, because I feel like Oklahoma would have a better chance to give Bama a run for their money than Cincinnati, Notre Dame, and A&M.
Well, there's no way Oklahoma's giving any of them a run.
No.
But you see, I said this last night in the group text was that Oklahoma. I mean, this was a while ago. This was like 2003, I believe, when LSU won or something like that. They allowed Oklahoma to go into the national championship after getting stomped 35-7.
Yeah. Honestly, I wish they would extend them. I wish they would extend the the playoffs. Like it shouldn't be the top 4 teams because I mean, as we've seen, like ever since they did that, like there's so many teams that are still undefeated that are in the top 8.
It should be top 8.
It should be top 8.
I mean, this shows you how biased the committee is.
Yeah.
Ohio State, yeah, they might be number 3, but I mean, you kind of just only played not half your season. Notre Dame just got their ass whooped. Florida lost to an LSU team that was 3 and 5. They dropped 1 point, 1 ranking, and then UNC beat the shit out of a top 10 team, and they moved up 2 rankings. So it was like, what are they using to determine their spots?
I think it's who has Ohio State played? Is
nobody. Indiana.
That's what I'm saying. Like they play Indiana, and honestly, they were really ranked too high. But I mean, like they literally played, in which they already bent the rules for them one time, which allowing a team that has only 6 wins to go to a playoff. You know, I don't really understand why they doing that, but other than because they like Ohio State and it probably brings them more views. But I really do think it should be extended to 8 teams.
They just said Ohio State's strength of schedule was 67th in the nation.
Yeah.
And they only played 6 games.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. They really shouldn't. I don't know. I feel like, do you think that 8 teams, like you can say, oh, that's a lot of games, but then look at the NFL. They literally play 17 regular games.
Yeah, but they're paid.
You know? Yeah.
Players are paid.
And Oklahoma over Cincinnati.
Texas A&M at 5, Oklahoma at 6.
Who's that? 5 and 6? Oklahoma and Cincinnati.
A&M is at 5 and Oklahoma's at 6.
I'm guessing Cincinnati's at 7 then.
Be nice to see an original team in the playoff.
It's always the same top 3: Ohio State, Ohio State, Bama, and Clemson. Always, you can almost guarantee they're always going to be up in there.
And now it's Notre Dame again.
Notre Dame.
I mean, we see, and this was just like every other year that Notre Dame and just like Oklahoma. At least Oklahoma makes it at least some type of game. Every time Notre Dame goes into a big game like this, they lose.
I'm pretty sure Oklahoma didn't make it a game last year.
That's better than Notre Dame.
Yeah. Fucking Notre Dame literally – the only good thing that Notre Dame has over all these other teams is that they're a team that will pull out, like, major tricks. You know? They'll pull out some trick plays to win or try to win. But we've seen what they can do. They will literally lose. Just like, I think, what year was it that they tried to go to the playoffs and they got freaking with Monte Teo and them. What was that, like 2013, 2014, some shit like that? And they got stomped then. You know, like, they're just they're way overrated.
I honestly don't think these games are going to be that interesting.
The most interesting game is Clemson Ohio State, yeah.
I think Alabama's going to run over Notre Dame and Clemson's going to run over Ohio State, especially if Ohio State play like Northwestern. I mean, that was Northwestern who made Ohio State play like that, but Clemson's offense is way better than that, and their defense is good. So
Ohio State has a lot of weapons.
Ohio State likes to play sleeper.
If Ohio State freaking Justin Fields decides to come and play like a lights out game, it's gonna give him trouble. But he's so inconsistent far as how he plays, you know, that you don't really know if he's gonna show up that game or not, you know.
Yeah, and I think they probably did that on purpose because if you were listening to it yesterday, they were talking about how they wanted a Justin Fields Trevor Lawrence matchup, and they weren't going to get that if Ohio State played Alabama because Ohio State was going to get knocked out. So
Yeah.
but this is their way of getting their Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields matchup. I do think I don't know. I think they're gonna get the committee's gonna get a lot of shit if it comes in and both of the semifinals aren't competitive. If Notre Dame gets wrecked again, if Ohio State gets wrecked, people are gonna be like, "Yeah, I don't know what y'all doing."
It'd be
If Notre
hilarious
Dame
if Notre
gets blown
Dame.
out, that's all it's gonna be is what you should have put Oklahoma or you should have put Cincinnati or whoever the fifth place team is, A&M. That's gonna be the talk if when Notre Dame gets stomped.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the Oklahoma from almost 2 decades ago. How are you going to get put into a championship game after getting blown out in your conference championship?
Yep. But Ohio State gets a lot of talent.
They do. The only issue I have with Ohio is that they didn't play. But I do think Ohio is probably a top 4 team. I just don't think that you should reward someone for not playing their games. And I do know, like, out of their 3 canceled games, 2 of them wasn't their fault. It was the other team's fault. So I don't have a problem with Ohio State being up there. I do have but I think if Ohio State loses and it's bad, I think the committee's people are gonna be like, oh, this is why you shouldn't have let a 6-win team in.
Yeah.
And then especially since Ohio State had the Big Ten trying to protect their chances to making it to the playoffs because the Big Ten's gonna get money for Ohio State being into the playoffs. So they knew that by protecting Ohio State and letting Ohio State into the playoffs, into the Big Ten championship, even though they didn't qualify for it, was going to help them because they knew that Indiana or Northwestern wouldn't have made it even with a Big Ten wins.
Yeah, I think the decision to put Notre Dame over A&M for sure was that A&M and Bama would just be a rematch, and they already seen the outcome of that one. That one wasn't even close, and so they probably figured let Bama play Notre Dame, and they'll probably win, and they won't even have to see a rematch. That was probably the thought process between Alabama and A&M.
But we have to see another rematch from last year with Clemson and Ohio State.
Yeah, but that's year by year. I do agree. Like Texas A&M was whoever was going to play Alabama was going to get blown out. I think because of Notre Dame and Texas A&M both being blown out by a top 4 team, you showed that they can't compete with them.
I would think that it was Oklahoma's still scored more than Notre Dame.
I think they all up a lot.
I really think it's Ohio State. I think is a little overrated this year. They're not as good as they got a top 4 talent team. I don't think they're a top 4 team. No. I think if they played somebody good, that they would lose this year.
So I want to point this out that they're showing right now.
17.5.
Bama is 17.5 point favorite over Notre Dame in the Rose Bowl. That will be in Dallas, in Arlington. And then Clemson was a 6.5 point favorite over Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. I thought they were gonna put the 1-4 in the Sugar Bowl and then the other 2 in the Rose Bowl. So that kind of blew my mind there.
Bama's gonna win by more than that.
They rotate every year. So every year they flip flop.
Well, last year the Sugar Bowl wasn't a playoff game.
Yeah, it was a Cotton Bowl probably and the Orange Bowl or something like that.
Yeah.
But the next time that Rose Bowl and Sugar Bowl or the 2 semifinalists, the number 1 and 4 will play in the Sugar Bowl.
Okay.
Yes, we'll see how it rolls. I think between the Clemson and Ohio State game, I I think that was gonna be a close one. I think what that's gonna come down to is coaching. Really, I think that's gonna be whose coach has a better game plan and who's able to adjust by halftime.